and flying across the world. But everybody is like, they seem to be all tired from the hour, and I'm just like, I have no problem right now, so I don't know. But yeah, today is going to be a good day. We are in our testimony series where people are sharing their stories. And we got our boy Dylan today. He's going to be sharing his. So far we've had myself and Tim do it, and from what I saw and heard from last week, Tim did a great job, so thank you for doing that, Tim. Appreciate it. So we do some claps too. But first, we're going to do our favorite thing, which is worship the Lord. So I'm just going to pray, and then you guys can kick us off here. Go ahead, please. You may be seated. Father God, I just thank you for this morning, Lord. I thank you for every person here. God, I thank you that Dylan is here to share his story, Lord, about how you impacted his life and changed it for the better. God, I pray that as we worship your name, that you will sing and dance over us, Lord. And I pray that as Dylan begins sharing his testimony this morning, that we'll all be impacted and touched in some way, shape, or form. Lord, I just pray that you will touch our hearts, show us what you want us to learn this Sunday morning, and just let our conversations be wholesome and glorify you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Stand up. Stretch. Morning. Hands up. Reach the sky. All right, down to your toes. Way down to your toes. Uh-oh, that's where now we're standing. Let's move. I have to sit right mountain you will climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you will climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you will climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. No shadow you won't light up, mountain you will climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Thank you for constantly pursuing us, God. No matter what we do, God, you never turn away. Your love for us is unconditional, God. We are so undeserving. But you still love us. Even when we turn our backs on you, God, you still love us. No shadow you will light up, mountain you will climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. Sing again. There's no shadow you will light up, mountain you will climb up, coming after me. There's no wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. There's no shadow you won't light up, mountain you will climb up, coming after me. No wall you won't kick down, lie you won't tear down, coming after me. No shadow you won't light up,
ever been swimming? You know that feeling when you're underwater? You've held your breath for as long as you possibly can. And you're starting to choke out, and you got to get to the surface, so you scramble to get to the top, so you just get that deep breath. That powerful breath in your lungs that gives life, that keeps you going. That's the breath that God breathed into us. And honestly, I want to pursue Him like that. I want to pursue God. Like, I know for a fact that if I don't get that deep breath, then I'm going to drown. And I think we all need to do that, is really kind of ask yourself, am I really gunning for God? Am I swimming to the top to get to the surface because I desperately need that breath, so I can just get up and just take that deep breath of fresh air, so my lungs can operate, so my body can function, so my head can be on straight, so I don't have to deal with all the stuff in life by myself. I can breathe. There's so much packed into that song. God, I just thank you, Lord, for giving us life. God, for breathing your own breath of life into our lungs so that we can live. Lord, but even deeper than that, I thank you for giving that to us, because that means you have a purpose for us to live. That you have a purpose and a reason for us to be doing what we're doing and to exist. God, without you, without needing from you, everything just kind of falls short. So God, I just pray right now, Lord, that this morning, as Dylan shares his story, God, you will fall fresh on us and be a nice, relaxing breath of fresh air. May we put everything that's stressing us out aside for just 40 minutes. Just 40 minutes, Lord. Take the weight off our shoulders so we can hear what you have to say through a beautiful story. God, we thank you for this morning. It's in Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen. Amen. All right, guys. So real quick, I can say I think this is going to be probably one of my favorite testimonies, but I'm biased.
Don't say that.
I've lived with this kid forever. So yeah, I'd like to introduce Billy Willies. He's going to be sharing his story. And remember, this couple weeks we're in the testimony series because you can toss scripture at anybody you want. You can try to be theologically correct and everything, and they'll always be able to combat you. But the one thing that people can't combat is the experiences you've had and the way that God has changed your life. So this is the story about how Dylan's life has been changed. And yeah, take it away.
Even though you're a small group and you're all my friends, it's like whatever. I can sing, so you're saying, obviously. Talking is different. It's weird. But I love you all. And this is what I'm doing. I'm just gonna start back when I was a kid. I don't even know if I'm taking 40 minutes, so we'll see. Anyways,
If you don't, I got you covered.
okay. Just growing up, I was born into a Christian family. You know, dad and mom in church their whole lives. You know, this guy was 4 years older than me, so I was just kind of taking under his lead and stuff. But you know, it's easy to say that we're Christian because we're born into a Christian family. But you know, it wasn't until growing up, like, I finally understood what it meant to have a relationship with Christ, and we'll get there later. But you know, that was my mentality growing up as a young kid. I'm going to church, you know, I'm in Sunday school every week, Wednesday services sometimes, but you know, you think that means you're Christian. That's not what it means. So, it was about when I was like 6 years old. I was in the bathroom with my mom. Yeah, weird. She was doing my hair. You know, she was on the phone with my aunt at the time, and she's like, "Oh, Cody got saved." That's my cousin, Cody, is Muskegon. And I'm like, "Well, I want to be saved too." You you know, not really knowing what it meant. So she's like, okay, just say this prayer with me. And I'm like, okay. So I said the prayer, and I'm like, yeah, I'm saved, you know. You know, this, just not even knowing what I'm doing, just saying, okay, sweet Jesus in my heart, you know. And I thought, okay, that's it, you know, I'm just going to go on with my day, play with my action figures at school and stuff, but, you know, there's so much more to it, so, it was good, but, yeah, you know, growing up in kids' church, like, I'd learn, but I'd sit there, but I didn't really talk to anybody, didn't really interact, didn't read my Bible, didn't do any of that stuff, you know. I like to sing, though. I always sang. He would yell at me because I sing too much, you know. He would yell at me to shut up. I'm like, okay, my mom was defending me. She's like, he sings when he's happy. So, it's true, I do.
Sorry about that.
But it's okay. Yeah, you know, and as Derek shared, like, a couple years down the line, when he was 13, I was like 9 years old, you know, my dad and my mom started having their issues and going through their divorce. You know, I didn't understand anything. My brain's like, what the heck's going on, you know, I'm just sitting there trying to take in, like, my dad's not always going to be there, you know, my mom's crying. It was interesting, so, but, you know, that's when things started, like, I was just a carefree kid, and once that started happening, like, my whole world was, like, shattering from my eyes, and, like, I just quit talking, you know, I quit being me. I didn't know how to express my feelings at all, and then the year after the divorce, you know, my grandma passed away, and she was, like, our best friend, you know, grandma's that protector you have, you know, she'll always take care of you, she'll give you treats when you're not supposed to, but, you know, she was passing away too, and, that was, like, my first encounter with, like, death, like, understanding what it means when somebody passes on, like, they're not going to be here anymore, and this will bring up a point later, but, you know, just these two major events going hand in hand just kind of made me quiet. I'm only 10 years old, so I'm just like, what's going on, you know? Not understanding anything. And, you know, yeah, I just lost my voice. And there were times when I'd have something to say, but I didn't know how to say it. And words just wouldn't come out of my mouth. You know, I'm sure we've all had those moments. And he'd have to be my voice, like, for years. Like, I honestly, I don't think I was able to express to my mom or my dad how I felt until I was like, 14, 15. So it was bad, you know. And that, you know, that gets me in trouble. You know, when I need help from somebody, I didn't know how to ask for it. I didn't know what to do. You know, it was tough. Life was tough, and my terminology was tough. You know, but you know, after that time, like, when I got to middle school, it was time to graduate out of K-Kids, you know, at C3, so that's when I started moving on to youth group, and that was really rough transition for me. You know, youth group, you're supposed to be hyped about it, it's going to be great. I was going to be with my brother in church again, so it was nice, but that wasn't exactly the case. So 7th grade, actually it was like summer 6th grade, I tried youth group, you know, and we'd start worshiping, lights would dim, first song would come out, and I just heard the word, something about either death, like Christ died for us or something, but just the word death scared me, you know, and I'd get so overwhelmed, I'd have a bad anxiety attack, and I'd go straight to him, I'm like, I need to get out of here, He's like, no, I'm worshiping, you know, you didn't want to take me home, so
I was not supportive.
So it was bad, like, I'm sitting in the back row just freaking out, and I'm just like, I need to get out of here, so I walked outside, and I'm like, I think I went into the big service just to hear Pastor Tim talk, because because I don't know, it was something about death scared me. And I'll be honest, like, I didn't really put two and two together until I was taking card accordingly. I think my grandma's death kind of scared me of the idea of dying, because trust me, we're all going to heaven, and I know this for a fact, but like, you know, at that time, just the idea scared me, you know. It's like you don't know how it's gonna be, you know. It's the fear of the unknown, you know. Like, oh, I'm gonna be leaving everybody, but I'm gonna be going to paradise, but you know, you just don't know the transition. You know what I mean? And you know, so every time we praise and worship and hear a song about death, like I just had this bad, overwhelming anxiety attack, and yeah, it was rough, but. There's another time that I tried youth group again. I didn't come till the tail end of it, but Pastor Steve was doing this altar call at the time, and they sang this song called "The Word of Fire Fall," and like, I don't know what happened, but I went up to the altar and I just started weeping and bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but people were just praying for me, and I probably sat there half hour after service ended because I was so overwhelmed with, you know, that was the first time I can honestly say I felt the Lord, you know, like it was a weird feeling, but it was great because all these years of just built up like feelings just kind of came out, you know. Yeah, it felt so good to just release it all and just get the tears out that have built up over the years. Like I was quiet. I couldn't let out any feelings. I couldn't express how I felt. It felt so good. And, you know, that was the first time I really felt God, like, kind of tug on my heart. And it was after that moment, like, I kind of started understanding, okay, this is what it means to be a Christian, you know. Or just having a relationship with Christ, you know. And, year after that, we went to, I think it was Machindo or Apex, but that was my first time going to Apex, and like, Apex, with David DeMarco. What a guy. But, you know, I didn't know what to expect, and, you know, that was a really eye-opening thing, you know. Everybody was just so on fire to God. It was like my first real experience of seeing like a group so passionate for the Lord, you know. And it's crazy because, like, you know, I want to see that all the time, but why do we have to go on a trip to get so on fire for God? You know, we could do that any day. But yeah, you know, they had another altar call too, and David DeMarco was just calling out things. You know, I've struggled with asthma my whole life, and that was one of the things he was calling out. You know, asthma, get up here. I'm like, that's me. Rushed down to that altar, started jumping, dancing with joy. And Derek's like, you gotta go, man. So we went up there, you know, and it was just so powerful, like, and I fully trust that God's going to take care of that one day. You know, I still have problems breathing. To this day, like last week, I probably had to use my breathing machine about 5 times because it was just up and down in the weather, you know, so it was just so bad. But, you know, it was just year after year, God kept showing me something different. And when I jumped to 10th grade, that was, you know, I still haven't thought about anything about using my voice at all for singing. I still love to sing. Love to sing. And I didn't think anybody knew. Except for one day, Marty, you know, it was for months, Marty Pleasant was our worship leader, and he just kept saying, hey, come to worship practice. I'm like, I'll think about it, man. But I'll think about it. But, you know, here's the one thing I'm going to tell you guys. God has a plan for each and every one of us, and if he wants something done, he's going to get it done. And a choice. So for months I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll go. Didn't talk to Marty about it. Just hopefully he forgot about it. And then it was my 10th grade. It was March, and Derek's like, "You're going to worship practice tomorrow. I'm dropping you off. You have no choice." I'm like, okay. So I had no choice but to go to worship practice, and it was just me, Marty, and Chris Apudo. Yeah. And Marty's just like, "Hey, do you know this song?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know this song." And he's like, "All right, sing it." So I started singing. He's like, "Try and sing it this way." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll sing it this way." And we were smiling, enjoying ourselves, having fun, and it was just awesome. And then he comes out with the schedule. He's like, "Okay, so you're on schedule for 3 weeks from now." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, I didn't sign up for that part. You know, he's like, "Yeah, that's okay." So, yeah, in March, that was my first time actually doing anything with worship. And again, I had no plan on ever being on a worship team, being a worship leader, doing anything, not playing guitar. I didn't even know about guitar, really. And yeah, that was the first time I did it, and like, I was freaking out because I was scared. But you know, it felt good to be. It felt natural, you know, to be on stage and be just singing. And yeah, it just felt natural. Like the Lord has been wanting me to do this for so long, but I just had to get past the nerves and the. I didn't even know it was nerves about because it was just so easy. But yeah, you know, as I continued coming along in worship, like God kept helping me grow. With the influence of all the people around me, you know, Marty was probably my biggest influence in worship. Probably had a big impact on all of you. I knew him. And it's just, you know, he was teaching me things, and you know, Liz Hanson joined the worship team. I don't know if you guys know this. So, some of you don't, but she's pretty cool too. But you know, she started teaching me other things like how to sing a harmony. I didn't know what harmony was to save my life, so now I do. I didn't. And you know, when I first started off in worship, like I sounded pretty much like Marty. So Marty's voice just drowned me out. I guess you couldn't really tell if I was singing or not, but I was, I promise. But yeah, like her helping me started to kind of give me like my own identity too. And you know, she was on the team for probably like my 11th grade and 12th grade. And 12th grade, yeah, that was the weirdest time because that was on the Marty was feeling called elsewhere, you know, to a different group in church. So we were at we went to CVS for some donuts or something because we had a worship practice that night. And he's like, "Hey, so how do you feel about taking care of the worship team or being in charge?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm." He's like, "Don't tell anybody, but I'm gonna be leaving soon." And I'm like, he's like, "And I think you could do it." He's like, "I know you could do it." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." You know, I said, I don't want to get myself into. It was good. And you know, 12th grade year, yeah, that was a big transition for me, you know, because once he finally left, like, everybody looked to me, you know, that was the first time I was in that leadership position, and I was kind of overwhelmed and freaking out too, because like I'm scheduling practices, I'm doing this and doing that. I didn't even know how to play guitar at the time, so I'm just singing still, and you know, Marty tried teaching me a couple things at a time, probably played like a simple G chord, but that was it. And you know, it was scary and intimidating for me because, you know, I I'm still a student, and I got all the youth leaders with me that are encouraging me, but I'm still feeling like I'm not doing anything, you know? And, you know, it was, as a young worship leader, there was a lot I didn't know. It's a complete difference from when you're worshiping in the congregation to worshiping on the band. Like, when you're on the band, you're worrying about, you're focusing on, okay, is this guy playing the right note? Is this guy playing the right key? Is the drums, you know, is the tempo good? Am I singing the right words? Which I did not sometimes, you know, I miss a lyric here or two, and I get embarrassed, but, you know, that was just my mentality, because I'm so young, I'm not knowing what it truly meant to be that worship leader, you know, because, again, I didn't plan on being a worship leader, but God had bigger plans for me, you know, and, like, a big thing to me is, like, we'd worship from, like, 7 p.m. to 7:40, and every time I try to make 3 songs stretch into 40 minutes by just repeating a lot, you know, like, repeating the words a lot, and little did I know, that's not worshiping, that's, like, staged stuff, you know, like, that's just trying to keep it going, and, I mean, me being young, I didn't really notice, I didn't really care, I just wanted to make the songs last 40 minutes, you know. And then, you know, this was a big, impactful time in my life that was very terrible for me, but, you know, I got a girlfriend in the 12th grade, she was a freshman, and she was a very manipulative person, so, you guys can already imagine what that's like. So, you know, and I bring this up because it did really have a negative impact on my relationship with God, you know. 12th grade, you know, we're transitioning out. That's you transition out of youth group and you go into the big church. And, you know, I wanted to be a youth leader, but I don't think I wanted to do it for the right reasons. I think it was because, you know, part of me really just wanted to stay. I mean, obviously I loved you guys too, very remark. But you know, I thought I was being called to it, but I think it was just me thinking I'm being called to it, not really being led to it. So, you know, after I transitioned out, you know, you kind of feel lost. You don't know what you're going to do, you know, and during this transition period, that was a very rough time in my relationship with God, you know. Part of me was bitter with Greg, you know, because we talked about leadership, and then I graduated. He doesn't talk to me for 2 months, you know, and I kind of held a grudge against Greg. That was for a little bit, and, you know, if you go into youth group after a Wednesday service, they kick you out, you know, because for the youth students, and, you know, it kind of hurt our feelings, you know, because the last 5-6 years, we were there, you know, and that transition period, it's like, where do I fit it in, you know? And the girl I was dating at the time, you know, she was in the youth group with me, but I didn't realize this at the time, but I probably do now. But like, she wouldn't go to youth group; she'd go into big service with me, you know. And that kind of, looking back, was probably going to church because I was going to church, because she wanted to go to church. So, you know, and there were times, there were even times that I'd go to the Wednesday service and be like, no, I'm not feeling it. I'm like, hey, guys, I hopped so much. Skipped out on church and went and got pancakes, you know. It's like, you know, that I was really not feeling God at the time, you know. I'm like, okay, now that I'm in a youth group, I don't know who God is anymore, you know. And you know, I had my doubts. I'm like, where are you, God? You know, I thought you were with me, and you had these things going so well for me, and now I don't know where you're at. I don't feel you, you know. And, you know, I just want you guys to all understand, like, there will be times where you probably feel like, where's God? You know, where's God in your life? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? He's right there with you the whole time. It's just our blinders are on. We're not thinking clearly. We're not looking for him. We stop doing what we're doing because the weight of the world is just on our shoulders. And it's so easy to forget where he is, even though he's standing right by our side, walking that path with you. So if you ever feel like that, just know he's still by you, That's important to know, but, like shortly after I graduated 12th grade, I transitioned to big church. Pastor Tim asked me to be on the worship team, and I'm like, okay, I'll be on the worship team. I've been doing it for 3 years now, so it'll be cool. And that's when I started playing with Steve. And remember, I'm still this young worship leader, still not fully grasping the ideas of what true, pure worship is. So, I remember this very vaguely because this really changed how I worship. Pastor Tim was the week before Easter Sunday, and he's like, "Oh, pick praise songs." I'm like, "Okay, I'll pick praise songs." And then service was running short. We still had like 10 minutes. So I just kept repeating. He's like, "You repeat a lot." I'm like, "Oh." It kind of hurt me, but I'm like, it took that to help me understand I'm all wrong about worship, how I'm leading worship. And, I took that as an insult at first, but now I really take that as a big compliment because that kind of helped me grow. It takes simple words like that to help you understand, wow, I need to rethink things. So, I started like reading books about the art of pure worship and just stuff like that, talking to people, and that really started to help me understand like what it means to really worship God and lead worship. And there's crazy. Sorry, my thought. And I know I'm buggy trailing a little bit back and forth, but it's all important. So, as I'm still growing to lead worship and stuff, I'm still dating that same girl that was very manipulative. So, there were times like I'd lead worship and, we feel the Lord telling us to say something during worship, to talk to you guys, to kind of help you open your hearts to lead worship. My girlfriend at the time was like, "I don't like when people talk during songs." So I'm like, okay, well, I just won't talk during my worship, It's like, that's obviously not right for me to do that. If I have something to tell the congregation, I need to share it with you guys, That's hindering what God's trying to do in the congregation, but I'm trying to please my girlfriend at the time, And there are times she didn't want to go to church. I didn't want to go to church. She didn't want to go, Guys, girls, say it. Tell me that now. There's good people that will influence you the right way, but there are also people that will tear you down. And it's going to lead you to the wrong path, I promise you that. And I'm so glad, obviously I'm not in that relationship anymore. The way that ended, I'm just going to share this. My mom actually, my mom went to her parents' house and was like, "My son can't afford your daughter." I was so mad. That's true. But at the same time, mothers know when somebody's good for you or somebody's bad for you. She knew she was going to tear me down. And I was mad at my mom for a little bit, but I got over it. And yeah. So, it was interesting. But yeah, God's plans are a lot better than our plans, and I can't stress that enough. Again, God's going to use us on mighty ways that we don't understand at the time, but it'll all make sense later down on the road. Down the road. So, I guess the main point of my story is that even though we feel like God's not always there for us, we know that He's always working in the background. And even though we can't see it, we know that He's still working on us. He's working on days ahead of us when we're still focusing on today. That's why God says, that's why it says in the Bible, don't worry about tomorrow, because today has its own worries. And I think that's the mindset we have to be in. Just don't worry about what God's going to do in the future for you. Just live in the present and live every day that you can to glorify His name, because that's the most important thing. And I'm thankful that God has used so many different people to influence my life, and used events that we've gone through, struggles, just hardships, but also joyous times to just continue to shape us, and I know He's doing that in each and every one of your guys' lives too. And it's funny to see, think about it, it's funny to see where, because I know all you pretty well, like you especially, Mark, it's funny to see where you were to where you are now. Same with you, Brayden, I've grown up with you too, and it's amazing to see how God has used you guys too, and He's going to continue to use all of us. That's what I got for you.
So we got 10 minutes, so So I feel like I can say a couple things because I've lived with him his entire life. But just a couple things that you probably didn't think about. He breathed over his asthma for like a minute. This guy has complained maybe twice in his entire life about having asthma. Twice. I've complained so much more of like my face issues, of like acne, than he's complained about a death-inducing asthma. When he has an asthma attack, it's like trying to breathe through a coffee straw. And I think maybe twice I've heard him go, well, this stinks. And that's about it. He's never said, why did God give me this? Why did God do that to me? Blah, blah, blah. He's never said that. Ever. So I'll be the first person to say that I'm an older brother that looks up to his younger brother in some aspects.
We'll just let you off that.
Sure.
Here's the way I feel about my asthma. I'm glad I have it and he doesn't have it. My mom doesn't have it because I know how to deal with it. I'd rather they've always said to me, I wish I could take your asthma. I'm like, I'm glad you can't. Because I'm gonna be able to use this to help other people with asthma, maybe.
And on top of that song that he sang today, I've said this a couple times, but I'm just gonna say it again. It's your breath in our lungs. Like, this guy who can be triggered by almost anything to not be able to breathe has the most amazing voice in the entire family. Like, I'm going to say this, I'm not going to name names, but there's a couple people in our family who are tone deaf. But they breathe just fine. This guy can barely breathe, and I mean, every Sunday, he just belts out these beautiful notes, and sometimes he goes high-pitched, and I'm like, where did that come from? How did you hit that? But another thing to kind of go off of what he was saying about growing as a young worship leader, he did not choose to come to Radiate. I took him. So you're lying. That's kind of how he was on the C3 band, and I came home from pelt training one day, and he said, "How was training?" I said, "Good. I'm starting church." And he's like, "Oh dang!" And I was like, "Yeah, you're coming with me." He's like, "Oh." All right. So that's how it worked.
I guess let me go tell the people.
Literally. So it was, hey, I'm starting a church. I'm not really going to give you a say. And I'm just going to say this was God. You know, remember how he did say that God will make what he wants to happen no matter what you think, right? I'm just going to chalk this up to that saying right there. But no, I came home and I said, hey, I'm starting a church and you're coming with me. And he's like, okay. and literally, Dylan was technically he was really the first onboarded team member, and it was just kind of him and I. So, because I had talked to him about it before Eli and Tammy had really joined at the time. There's been a lot of growth that he's gone through, a lot of very close calls from asthma. He's gone through so many different branches of medication. Literally, there might be 2 more left that can keep it at bay. But every Sunday morning, tired, but every Sunday morning, he gets up and he comes and he sings and he leads worship not just because he's called to it, but because he wants to lead you all into a place where you can actually experience the presence of God. And that's why we are so passionate about saying, when you're worshiping, really press in. Really press in, because it's those moments where you separate everything that's on your shoulders and everything that has just burdened you. You drop it, and you just seek the Lord's presence for just 20 minutes to an hour.
Going up the, it's so easy when we're worshiping, we sing the same songs every so often, and, it seems like repetition, but it's really not. How often do we actually focus on the words that we sing, Right. Do you dissect that song word by word, saying, this is what this means, this is what that, nope, reckless love, oh, the overwhelming reckless love of God, something as simple as that. He leaves the 99 to come to that one person. That's amazing.
The one person who is a little bit astray, he'll leave the 99 healthy ones.
He's like, you guys are good. I'm going after this guy.
So, and just let that push a little bit of a fact. You can try to run as much as you want to, but if God has a calling on your life and He has something He wants you to do, He's gonna get you to do it because He's God. And the one thing that you can't argue with is the one who made you. So. But
one last comment, I just want to, I know we've all had these moments, but think about it, no matter where you may fall off and feel you turn your back on God, we all come back. It's just the way it is, something draws us back in, and it's always been there because we have that desire to be with God. We just get mad at Him. Why?
It's a very true statement right there. So just think about it for a second. What really keeps you hooked, even when you feel like there's absolutely nothing left for you? There's just that tiny little pull. Come on back. So
His lesson.
yeah. It's like fishing, just I'm gonna get you eventually. Come on. So, but just use this story as an impacting thing in your life. If you feel like maybe you have a hard time expressing who you are, or you feel like there are things that you experience in life that really just make you angry at God, and there's nothing that's gonna bring you on back, or heck, if you have breathing problems too, there is ways that God will work around this to use you for His plans and His purposes. And in reality, living your best life is living the life that God has planned out for you. We think we know better, but God's plan is the best possible outcome for us. So if we really want to live our best life, then we will just live according to what He says.
That's true.
I'm not saying we always do that all the time because we think we're smarter, but we're not. But yeah, so proud of you, man. just to let you know, you said you don't like talking. You talked for 36 37 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Just want you to know that.
Pretty good, huh?
So real quick, to kind of wrap that up, and then I think I'll have you pray out.
Alright.
If you have been coming here for a while and you want to share your story, please do. I think there's a couple of you I've already kind of just picked and told you what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So
Everybody has something.
Listen, I'm a talker though, so I'll probably consume the whole hour, maybe plus 10.
That's fine. That's fine. But whether God, obviously, Dylan's story, God has done a lot throughout the years. Whether God has done a lot in your life, or you've just known God for a little bit and He's just starting to do little bits and pieces, that story is still just as important. So, you don't have to talk the full 40. You can talk 20. You can talk 10. You can talk 5 if you want to. We can just make a testimony today. I don't care. But we have an opportunity as a smaller group to be able to get to know each other in a deeper way and really connect together as a church. We're a small group, but I literally in Muskegon, I went to my grandma's church last weekend, and I was like, man, I miss Radiate right now. So share your story. We want to hear it. We want to talk with you. So, you want to pray out, and then I'll give announcements.
Everybody bow your heads, close your eyes. Heavenly Father, God, we just want to thank you, God, for everything you're doing, God, behind the scenes, and everything that you've done for us, God. Thank you for rooting out the weeds in our lives, God, and just bringing in the fresh flowers, God. We just, God, we know that your plans are great, God. We know that your plans are for us, God, and they're not against us, God. You love us so much, and we're so undeserving, God, but you still choose to pursue us, God. No matter where we go, God, no matter what we do, no matter how we feel, God, you still love us, God. Even if it's negative towards you, God, you still love us. And that's tough to comprehend sometimes. We don't know why you love us, God, but you do. We're so imperfect, but we are your perfect children, God. And you'll never turn away, God. You'll never turn your back on us, God. You'll always keep pursuing us, and we can't thank you enough for that, God. And, I pray that you just allow us to go our separate ways Sunday, God, and just have a different perspective on our lives, God. And, just praise you throughout the week. And, just give you thanks, God. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
All right, real quick. Stay tuned on the social channels because we will be announcing the next person who is sharing their story in a couple days. So you don't want to miss out on it. There are still a couple shirts in the back. I believe we have maybe a couple extra larges, a couple larges, and maybe a small, I think. So if you want to buy one.
Smalls, 2 larges, and 3 extra larges.
Cool, there you go. So if you want to buy one, they're $20. If you want to get a discount, maybe, we'll see. Come talk to me, we'll see if we can work it if you need it. If you have a shirt out, don't worry about it. Just give the payments when you can. But we're going to be planning on doing some new shirts coming up as we got a couple more orders. So if you know anybody who wants one, then let me know and we can add it to the order so we can get some in bulk. It's better to get the shirts in bulk. So you can either pay for those in person or you can pay online at the new website. If you haven't checked it out, it's radiatecc.com. Check it out. Yeah, just let me know. Let me know if you pay online. Yes. Oh, okay, yeah. I was there with you. So let me know if you pay online, and then we'll, I can just go from there. If you feel led to sow into this ministry, there's an offering basket Tuesday night. Feel free to leave whatever you are led to give. If not, cool. That's fine. We're just happy to have you here. So thank you for being a part of Radiate this morning. Please, 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 please take a bagel. There are so many back there, and I do not want to bring all those home. Please.
Listen, you know if there was cinnamon up there, they would have been gone.
Look,
at least cinnamon.
I'm
Would have been
look, I'm
There
begging
is
you,
cinnamon up
if
there.
your mom feeds birds, take some for the birds. Take some for your family. Just don't spend it home with
Get you
a
the
giant
last
bag of eggs, okay? Is there anything else? Oh, yes. So Christ Community is having a bowl-a-thon for their missions trip. It's March 22nd. And they are raising funds. If you would like to do some fundraising for them and for their missions, you can contact me and I can kind of touch base with you and show you how to do that. But Radiate is also sponsoring a lane at the bowl-a-thon. Fun thing, if you bowl and you're good, great. If you bowl and you're terrible, that's still great, because as long as you raise a little bit of money, you can come and bowl at the lanes with us. So let me know if that's interesting to you, if you want to touch base, but Radiate will be there sponsoring the lanes, so we will be hanging out with home base. And that goes all towards their missions trips of where they send teams to different places, including in the States and in different countries. Yes. March 22nd. Yep. Yep. So that's fun and exciting. So be checking that out.
Info's on the Facebook page.
Info is on the Facebook page. Yes. So if you want to follow us on social media, if you're not yet, Radiate Christian Church on Facebook, Radiate_CC, or the bottom line if you don't know what that is. Underscore. Yep. Radiate_CC on IG.
And Radiate Christian Church on YouTube.
Yes, we have a YouTube channel where we'll be uploading, and we've also been streaming stuff live on Facebook. So check into that. If you can't happen to make it one Sunday, that's okay. You can still join us via the web. Still come to church. Don't use that as an excuse. But if you need to, we're there. With all of that being said,
We love you. Goodbye.
no. You are dismissed. Go and radiate the love of Christ to your community.